Deep in the mountains of Montana stood the forgotten town of Black Hollow. For nearly 40 years, one piece of land destroyed every business built upon it. The first owner died. The next three lost everything they owned. No one could explain why, until an old villager finally revealed the truth. Decades earlier, the land belonged to Eleanor Brooks, an elderly widow whose family had lived there for generations. Although developers offered her millions of dollars, she refused every proposal. "This land is my family's last memory," she would always say. Victor Kane, a ruthless real estate operator with powerful political connections, wanted the property for a luxury commercial project. When Eleanor refused to sell, forged documents suddenly appeared. Corrupt officials transferred ownership to Victor, and despite months of legal battles, Eleanor lost everything. She spent her savings on lawyers, sold her jewelry, and pleaded for justice, but no one listened. On the day she was forced to leave her home, she stood at the edge of the land as workers erected a fence around it. With tears in her eyes, she whispered, "May this land never bring peace to those who stole it, or to anyone who profits from their greed." A few days later, Eleanor died with a broken heart. Victor celebrated the biggest deal of his career and quickly sold the property to a national developer. Life seemed perfect. Then, a few weeks later, something strange began to happen. Every evening, a black cat appeared outside Victor's house, crying until late at night. He ignored it. Some nights, their number grew to 2, sometimes even 3. Soon, the same unsettling cries followed him everywhere outside his office, beside his car, even during business trips. Victor became convinced someone was trying to frighten him. One stormy night, while driving home, his SUV skidded off a mountain highway. He was rushed to the emergency room. As surgeons fought to save his life, hospital staff noticed a lone black cat sitting quietly outside the entrance. Security chased it away. 2 hours later, the doctor stepped into the waiting room. "I'm sorry. We did everything we could." The investigation concluded it was a tragic accident. The villagers remembered Eleanor's final words. The company that bought the land dismissed the old stories as superstition. Construction of a luxury shopping center began immediately. Within months, investors withdrew, lawsuits delayed the project, costs spiraled out of control, and the company filed for bankruptcy. Several years later, another developer purchased the property and announced a luxury apartment community. Bank financing suddenly collapsed. Business partners turned against one another. The project was abandoned before a single building was completed. A third corporation believed the previous failures were nothing more than bad management. They planned a modern business complex. Unexpected legal disputes, canceled contracts, equipment failures, and massive financial losses forced the company into liquidation. 3 different businesses, 3 spectacular failures. The land remained untouched. Years later, successful businessman Daniel Carter purchased the property. Like everyone before him, he intended to develop it into a profitable commercial project. On the morning he arrived to inspect the site, an elderly villager slowly walked toward him. The construction workers paid no attention. Samuel Hayes wasn't interested in speaking to them. Only the owner had the power to decide the land's future. "Mr. Carter," Samuel said, "before you build here, you deserve to know what happened on this land." Daniel politely listened. For over an hour, Samuel told him about Eleanor Brooks, the forged documents, Victor Kane, and the 3 companies that had been ruined. Daniel wasn't convinced. He believed in evidence. Over the following days, he searched county records, newspaper archives, and court documents. Everything matched Samuel's story. Former residents confirmed every detail. The more Daniel investigated, the more difficult it became to ignore the past. He realized that every previous owner had seen the land as nothing more than an opportunity for profit. Then he made a decision that stunned his investors. The commercial project was canceled. Instead, Daniel donated the entire property to establish a children's home for orphaned and abandoned children. Many shareholders called him reckless. Daniel simply replied, "Not every piece of land is meant to make money. Some places deserve the chance to heal." 2 years later, laughter echoed across the hills of Black Hollow. Where greed had once destroyed lives, children now found safety, friendship, and hope. No lawsuits followed. No bankruptcies. No financial disasters. For the first time in nearly 40 years, the land brought peace instead of sorrow. Standing beneath the old oak tree, Samuel Hayes watched the children playing. A gentle smile crossed his face as he quietly whispered, "Justice arrived late, but it finally arrived." As the evening breeze swept across the valley, Black Hollow seemed to breathe again. Whether the curse had truly been broken, or whether compassion had simply succeeded where greed had failed, was a question no one could answer. But from that day forward, the stolen land never ruined another life.